Tonight, the battle for Akwatia opposition MPP vows to protect members during the by-election despite assurances from the Ghana Police Service that it will offer optimum security during the process.
Or what of the New Patriotic Party or even any ordinary member is coming to Akwatia with the mindset of what happened to Honorable Howard Kumsin and my deputy. Clearly, the person is going to protect himself. And I've kept saying this, that for the New Patriotic Party, we are going to protect ourselves. And self-protection is well stated within the laws of this country.
We have details as the NDC urges police to deal with persons who cause mayhem during the process.
And we are very clear in our mind that the NDC, we are committed to the peace plan, the process they've put in place. But we are mindful of the activity of our opponent who will come in there with dangerous weapons. You remember what happened at Blake Manoff? That triggered all this problem.
We speak to a security analyst on the security arrangement that must be put in place for that particular by-election in Akwatia in a few weeks' time. And Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies, and also by Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. Now, opposition New Patriotic Party says it is taking proactive measures to safeguard its members during the upcoming Akwatia by-election scheduled for September 2. Despite assurances from the Ghana Police Service that adequate security will be provided, MPP National Organizer Henry Nanabuachi expressed concerns over the police's handling of recent election violence. Nanabuachi's concerns stem from what the party says is the police's slow response in arresting and prosecuting individuals involved in violence during the Ablekuma North election rerun. He says the police track record does not inspire confidence that the MPP members will be fully protected in Akwatia, hence the party's decision to independently protect its members. He spoke to journalists after a closed-door meeting with the political parties, the Electoral Commission and the Police Service on security arrangement ahead of that particular by-election in Akwatia.
We said that thugs who were linked to the NDC, who caused mayhem, their images are all over, the videos all over. And as we speak, the Ghana police has not effected any decisive arrest. We saw a communique that stated that they have arrested 2 persons. We don't know what came up. We don't have any update. Were they put before the court? Are they on remand? We don't even know anything at all. So we were very, very, very strong on this particular point. And then the IGP said that, look, they are also serious about it, and we should even expect that even today, by close of today, some arrest would be made. We also mentioned it to the IGP that, look, if they want us to rely on these assurances, then they must work on what happened in Ablekuma North. Why? Because if a stalwart of the New Patriotic Party or even any ordinary member is coming to Akwatia with the mindset of what happened to Honorable Howard Kumsin and my deputy, clearly the person is going to protect himself. And I've kept saying this, that for the New Patriotic Party, we are going to protect ourselves. And self-protection is well stated within the laws of this country.
Henry Nanabuachi is the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party. Meanwhile, the governing National Democratic Congress, the NDC, has expressed satisfaction with the security measures outlined by the police. NDC Deputy Director of IT and Elections, Rashid Tanko Computer, says his party trusts the security plans put in place, but urged law enforcement to take firm action against anyone who causes unrest.
They've given us their roadmap, their deployment plan, indicating they are bringing all their regional commanders and then their POMAC members to beef up security, and that they are not going to leave any stone unturned to make sure that there's enough security at the place. And so they are not expecting anybody to come with any macho men or personal security and all that. The EC also brief us what they intend to do in terms of accreditation. They will make sure that all our leadership who are going to do the monitoring observation will be given accreditation. And we are very clear in our mind that the NDC, we are committed to the peace plan, the process they've put in place. But we are mindful of the activity of our opponent who will come in there with dangerous weapons. You remember what happened at Blikumanov? That triggered all this problem. And then there was a pepper spray. One of their leaders, Hawa Kumsin, had pepper spray in her back. She came to the place and was asking an unnecessary question. To the extent she was spraying that one, even to officers of the police as well as the EC officials. All this thing caused the problem at that polling stations. So we're telling them they need to beef up security and make sure that the fact that you are a former minister or a former MP or a MP, if you don't have accreditation, you have no business at the polling stations. And I also made it easy to make sure that they post the results at the end of the collation in each of the polling stations, because it's a requirement under Regulation 39(3)(c) that at the end of the collation they need to put one there, so that if there's anything we can rely on that one too. The EC said yes, and they're also saying that we should make sure that our supporters don't tamper with those things when they put it out there. So we're clear in our mind. The police have given it all the assurance.
This is Top Story, brought to you by Shield Pension Trust. Into the future with you and Telecel Connecting Energies. Let's now bring in Rashid Tanko Computer, who's Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Rashid, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Now, isn't the NPP right to say, based on what they saw in Ablikuma North, where the police stood by and watched that particular, the sort of beating that some of their members had, to say we will come prepared by ourselves?
Let me say good evening to you and your cherished listeners. Look, the NPP has no business to go to Akotia and say they are going to prepare themselves, well prepared for Akotia. They are looking for mayhem, and that is not what the good people of Ghana is looking for.
But they haven't said they will cause mayhem. They said they will get their own protection.
Oh, we've heard it. We even informed the IGP. Senior members of the NPP are heard on TV and radio saying that there will be bloodshed in Akotia. We mentioned it to the IGP. Senior members. Now compare that one to the NDC. Have you heard any NDC senior member in leadership make any statement to the effect that there will be bloodshed in Akotia?
Which senior member of the NPP said there will be bloodshed?
The MP, Team Kojo. Didn't you? Team Kojo was saying that there will be bloodshed, and they were condemning him all over the place. Reverend
Team Kojo, I have not heard it. He said there will be bloodshed.
Well, it's out there. He didn't say it on your platform, so that's why you didn't hear it. But it's out there. But I'm saying that, look, let's have confidence in the police. The police have time and again shown professionalism. Even in opposition, when we're in opposition, although we did have some challenges with the way they handled their operational destiny, but we had confidence in whatever they did. We didn't deploy our own security for 2024. We won the election. We followed them to this Asinov. The police did a yeoman's job there. This same police that they are saying that they don't have confidence in, they don't have trust in the police, the same police recruited by the NPP. In fact, 3/4 of the current police force were recruited by the NPP.
Based on which research are you making this argument?
Yes. My brother, every year these people have been adding police, and they've not even advertised. You remember the issue came out in front of Parliament, and they said they had a backlog.
Rashid, your statement was that 3/4 of the current police force were people recruited by the NPP. And I'm asking, based on which research?
This current police force that we have, NDCS, we did our part. Those years, they also came and did their part. They had majority of them. And even currently, those who have that pass out from other allied security agents were recruited by them. We have not recruited even a single police as of now. And I'm saying that let's have confidence in the police. They are doing their best. Look, the incidents of Ablekmano happened in only one polling station. We did 19 polling stations, only one polling station. How can you use one polling station and say the election was marred with violence and all that? And that one was caused by a senior member of the NPP.
Which
she
senior
came
member is
to
that?
the polling station with a dangerous weapon. Are you not aware that pepper spray is a dangerous weapon? It's classified as one of the dangerous weapons, which is not allowed. During elections, you should come near to any polling station. But this is a senior officer who had it predetermined mind and put it in her bag. Came to a polling station with that accreditation and throwing her weight around. That triggered all these problems that we are all discussing.
Well, what did she do? Because from what I saw on TV, I didn't something provocated that particular thing that she pulled out. Not so.
You know what happened? She came to that polling station and began asking them questions. That why is it that NPP has only one polling agent at that polling station? Invariably, she was ignorant about the electoral process. She didn't know that we were doing parliamentary election, not parliamentary and presidential. It is when you have two elections, that is presidential and parliamentary, that political parties are allowed to deploy two-party agents.
But when
it is only parliamentary election, you deploy only one party agent. So that's why they brought one. And she came and was having a problem with that. So she started that questioning, and when they started to explain to her, she wouldn't listen. She started insulting everybody there and yelling and talking. That led to that kind of problem. When they were trying to explain to her, she started spraying pepper spray on their face.
Pepper spray on who and who?
Didn't you see it? Your cameras even captured it. I saw it on your camera.
Yes, but
pepper spray on the faces of the officers there. Some police officers and other people.
That is not factual, Rashid.
So you mean
No, hold on. We saw a group of young men getting to the woman, and she also tried to protect herself. It is not that she was spraying on the officers of the election. What she did was not right, but we shouldn't justify what the young men did by saying that she pulled out that pepper spray first.
A weapon in your pocket. Is it not a crime? If it is not a licensed, registered weapon, is it not a crime?
That's to protect herself, not so.
Today, you are telling me that you can illegally go and pick guns because you want to protect yourself.
That's not what I'm saying. But there's a difference between
that is what we are talking about. Pepper spray is a dangerous weapon, classified. It's not supposed to be with anybody who is not authorized to hold it.
But why not allow the police that has been entrusted with the responsibility of protecting the internal security around the election to do their job? But some people in plain clothes attack the woman to say that we were angry by that pepper spray. Is that right?
My brother, I'm saying that this question should go to the NPP.
No.
Because they have problem with the police. And we believe that it is the police who should handle internal security when it comes to electoral matters.
Yes, Rashid, I'll come to the NPP, but I was questioning you saying that she brought out a pepper spray, and I'm saying that cannot justify the action of the young men because that was the duty of the police to ensure that the right things were done.
Not justify her beating.
Okay.
In all the discussions, I've been very clear in my mind.
Okay.
I've been very clear in my mind. I have not justified her beating. I'm just saying that she herself had a predetermined mind in coming to the polling station with a dangerous weapon. So that should be condemned.
Yeah.
That also.
Okay. You have a point about a predetermined mind.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It should be condemned.
Okay.
Today, if I go to Akotia and I'm holding a weapon which is not licensed, I'm not allowed to hold that, and you see me holding it, you have the right to let the police arrest me.
And you must equally condemn the action of the young men, right?
Of course, that's why I'm saying that. So they shouldn't go there and be asking that the young people who came and beat her up should be arrested. What they did was that, and meanwhile they are silent about the behavior of Hawa Kumse. Why are they silent about that? You know what is hypocrisy?
Okay. I'll come back to you. Let me bring in Henry Nanabuachi, who is the MPP's national organizer. Henry, grateful for joining. What do you mean exactly when you say you will protect your members or you safeguard the safety of your members in Akwatia?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me address some few issues from my brother Rashid Tanko. Hawa Kumsin never caused any problem at the police station. She was never there to ferment trouble. Indeed, when she began inquiring about some few issues, these thugs, these hoodlums belonging to the NDC, out of no provocation, pounced on her. Indeed, at the time she realized that her life was under danger, that was when she tried reaching out to get the pepper spray. And Rashid should not be confusing a weapon in the form of a gun and then lumping all of it together. So, Hawa Kumsin was attacked unprovoked. And the videos are there for everybody to see.
Yeah. All right.
It is so disheartening. It is so out of our cultural setting for Rashid Tanko to be defending such an attack on a former minister, former MP, and a lady as well.
He condemned it. He condemned that attack.
It is so true. In fact, I mean, he was even struggling. At the point you were trying to draw his attention to the fact that is he justifying the actions of these thugs?
And he said no.
And then he spent quite some good time saying that she was carrying a dangerous weapon. What kind of a dangerous weapon?
Okay, but back to my question.
Let me repeat. Hawa Kumsin was attacked unprovoked.
Okay.
Yes, she was at the police station. She asked some few questions. And some young men or some thugs or some hoodlums who, in their own minds, thought that she was interfering with the process, just approached her and then started doing their own thing.
Okay, so back to my question about what you mean exactly when you say you will safeguard the safety of your members in Akwatia.
First of all, let me say that this meeting was very good. I mean, this is the first time we are even having such an engagement with the police regarding these matters. Our position was quite clear. We told the IGP that, IGP, we are supposed to have confidence in you. But the thugs and the hoodlums that visited these mayhem during the Ablikuma North by-election, they must be arrested and prosecuted. That will instill some confidence in us going into Akwatia by-elections. Fortunately, we have 2 more weeks to go, so you can do something decisive. And he gave us his word. He said that, yes, they've done some detailed work, and he is very sure that between today and tomorrow, some arrest will be done, because, yes, something decisive will be done on this particular North matter. So that, for the self-protection, look, it's within our laws. And, Kojo, let me tell you, I mean, you have to defend yourself. You have to protect yourself all the time. So if the NPP says that, yes, we are going to go into these elections with the mindset of protecting ourselves, it is within the law. We are not going to do anything unlawful.
But
anything we will do that amounts to protection of ourselves clearly will be fitted within the remits of the law.
No, but how will you ensure that particular protection you're talking about does not lead to confrontations?
It's not going to lead to confrontation. Leave that to us.
No, but if you say so, I mean, we're all stakeholders of ensuring peaceful elections. We have entrusted the police service with providing security for elections. And you all know that you signed on to the anti-vigilantism law. That is also preventing anybody, from bringing these vigilante groups to provide any sort of security. So if you say you will protect yourself, then the question is, how do you intend to do that, and how would that not lead to confrontation?
First of all, let me assure you that we are not going to bring any vigilantes there. That is number one. Number two, we are not going to do anything against the law. Number three, anything and everything that we do to protect ourselves will be well within the law, and we are not going to go outside the law. So as for that assurance, it is there. But then self-protection clearly is within the laws of Ghana.
Now, given that the police have pledged to deploy significant personnel, and you alluded to the fact that you were happy with this particular meeting, are there any conditions under which the party, NPP, will consider its decision and rely solely on the state security apparatus to provide that protection for your members?
Oh, yes, we agreed, perfectly well. The IGP mentioned that we were going to deploy about 5,000 men, and public safety, internal protection, it's the mandate of the Ghana police. Again, it was agreed at the meeting that we do not need the intervention of the military. So if you see any person in military uniform, then it means it will be some thugs who have gone to get some uniforms, military uniforms, and then they will be arrested. We do not need the presence of the military there. The police is well prepared to handle everything security in the Akwetia violence. They are going to deploy 5,000 men, and that is quite huge.
But why then, after that assurance, you still say you would provide, you protect the safety of your members in Akwetia? When you say that you are satisfied?
We have policemen around, but when you go home and you are sleeping, you still lock your door, or?
Okay.
Don't you lock your door?
I do, of course.
Exactly. So we will lock our doors.
But the promise or the assurance you're giving Ghanaians is that nobody will be there to foment trouble.
Not at all. As for that assurance, in fact, it's going to be very peaceful. We are entreating everybody to come out to vote. Very, very peaceful. We have already pledged our full commitment to this. But the fact of the matter is that as for self-protection, it is well within the remit of the law. And we are not going to do anything which will be an infringement on the law.
Let me bring in Rashid Tanko Computer again. Rashid, so here you hear Nana Boachi say that, well, they trust the police to give that particular protection. But do you still stand by your charge to the police to deal ruthlessly with anybody who foment trouble in that election, knowing very well that the MPP says we won't come to foment any trouble?
Well, that is what we're all looking for. We want a peaceful process so that we can elect an MP who represents the constituency. That is what we're all looking for. To come there and say we will protect ourselves, what kind of protection were they talking about? So now if they also come to conclusion that, yes, we will go by the police processes, why not? That's what we're all looking for. And I'm only telling my brother, a friend, Nana B, that look, you should tell his people they should stop coming to polling stations with pepper spray. According to the classification of the Ghana Police Service, with their election security task force, pepper spray is described as a dangerous weapon. It's one of them. It's an illegal weapon which is not allowed. And so they should tell their people, nobody should come there with pepper spray. Because he is the national organizer.
If that is the case,
and should let them know, nobody should put that thing in their back, especially the ladies.
Rashid, I'm asking, if that's the case, wouldn't it be proper for the police to search anybody who comes to the polling centers on that day to check that they do not carry any weapons that are not allowed in the area, or that would be too much of work for them?
Of course, that is what to check illegal transmission of weapons into the constituency. That is what we are talking about. So the police say they are going to do the search, and so when they are doing the search, they should comply. The MPP, I am talking to my brother to tell his people, because he's the national organizer. Our NDC, we will go by the police, the dictates of the police. We are committed to it, and we are committed to the process of having a peaceful process in the constituency.
All right.
Kojo, can Rashid Tanko tell the police to arrest and prosecute the men who visited Mayhem, or the people who, in the face, in the presence of the police, they caused this violence? Can he, whilst he's condemning such an act, can he also call on the police to arrest these men and prosecute them? Can he do that?
Well, I indicated to you and the police that, look, it takes two to tango.
No.
Somebody brought up pepper spray.
Once you are condemning an illegal
dangerous weapon.
I am only saying, my brother. You are on record. You are condemned. I'm saying that.
Of those
can you also urge the police
should also be
to arrest and prosecute them?
Two to tango.
All right, gentlemen, I'm grateful to you. Let me bring in Dr. Ishmael Norman. He is President, Institute for Security, Disaster and Emergency Studies, to help us out. Dr. Norman, grateful that you joined us here. Dr. Ishmael Norman is a security analyst. He's president of the Institute for Security, Disaster and Emergency Studies. Doc, I'm grateful to you. What do you think must be done from the police point of view to instill that confidence in the people that we can trust in the security that the police will provide, so that we won't have these people saying that we'll provide our own security?
I think if we go with the events at Ablekuma North, the Ghana police was ready to do their job without any interference. It is because they showed a great deal of respect to the former member of parliament. That is why that pepper spray incident, Honorable Kumsin matter, came up. I will suggest that I think we have enough technology. They should have a screening device, at least 2 or 3, in strategic places before and cordon of the area, at least 3 or 2 or 3 perimeters. So that perimeter 1, when you get to perimeter 2, you should go through the screening device. And then when you are screened and there's nothing wrong, there's no weapon, there's no knife, there's no broken bottle, whatever in your pocket, then they allow you to move to the next level. I believe that the NPP have a right as a political party to protect their interests. But I do not believe that they are going to come there with weapons, because if they do that, it will be a complete disgrace and devaluation of our democratic process. Election is a very important part of the democratic process, and we need a strong opposition, but we cannot have a hooliganism practiced by the opposition, because then they will lose respect and legitimacy with the public. So I believe that they are talking about protecting their interests, but not necessarily coming there with AK-47, pump-action gun, pistols, Magnum, or whatever it is that people may have in Ghana. So for that matter, I think we can excuse whatever statement that was made that they are going to come there with their own weapon. It's not going to happen. Okay. I've never seen NPP do that. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, he gave assurance that they
should allow Ghana police. They are capable. The election joint force is capable to ensure that there is protection for every party, irrespective of whoever is running at that particular moment. So for me, I think that they are in agreement that the election task force is capable, and they are just, some of them may be talking, but I don't think they're going to be violent, because if they do that, believe me, they will lose complete legitimacy in this country.
All right, I'm grateful to you, Dr. Ishmael Norman there. But quickly before we go, we've been joined by Reverend John and Tim Kojo, MP for Assin South. Now, there was this allegation by Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer that he said something that was not appropriate towards the election. Doc, you say you want to clarify that particular point.
Yeah, thank you, Kojo. Tanko knows that the arrogant lie he just put out is false. The NDC put out distorted videos to create a false impression that I was inciting violence in Akwatia. When we put out the original video, they all bowed down their heads in shame. He is shamelessly repeating that without a doubt. I want putting on record, I've never incited violence in any election. I've always preached peace. I've always insisted that peace is all we have. We don't have to lose lives in elections. I'm looking forward to a time where you walk to a police station, even without police protection, and people must go peacefully to cast their vote. Okay. But we will not be cowed. We will not be cowed into silence.
Okay.
In calling the government and the NDC to order to bring the perpetrators of the Ablekuma North violence to book.
Okay.
They have put the police in a situation very uncomfortable.
Reverend John Intim Kojo is MP for Asin South and also the ranking member on Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament. That's top story. Up next is Newsnight.
Years of joyfulness. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Newsnight.
This bulletin is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and on over 30 affiliates across the country. Tonight, time-ticking bomb as Galamsey activities threatens the country's power grid as illegal miners are endangering gas pipelines, which could potentially spark an explosion capable of wiping out an entire community.
Secretariat, and as of now, they are drawing a comprehensive plan to deal with this particular issue.
We'll hear from the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining.
And also coming up tonight, academic showdown as the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission GTech stands firm against Deputy Health Minister's professor title claim. Tonight, we bring back the minister's responses at the vetting committee earlier.
And they should be treated as national security assets. And we should not allow criminals to...
If we don't have any letter or any appointment document pointing to where she has been appointed to, be it a full professor, an adjunct professor, or an assistant professor, then the confusion continues.
We have details of her status at the University of Utah Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine. Meanwhile, GTech apologizes to Hassan Ayareg for not engaging him officially over his qualification.
If for some reason we have offended you, I want to apologize to you. But I want to state that if you have not attained a PhD or if you have attained faith and you haven't provided evidence, then it is not right that a person of your stature should more or less present yourself as somebody who has attained faith.
In business, government releases 9.7 billion cedis as coupon payments for restructured domestic bonds, a move expected to impact on confidence in the economy.
And in sports, 4 days to go until the 2025 Joy Sports Invitational Tournament.
And a bit later, Health Minister Minta Kando condemns assault on nurse at Greater Accra Regional Hospital, says committee has been set up to address the incident. We have the latest of these and many other stories coming up tonight. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Ofori.
Details after this break.
Money day. Telecel Too Much Money promo drop. If you dial *500#, then join them. For the Telecel Too Much Money promo inside, you will win 100 Ghana cedis cash for the daily draws, 20,000 Ghana cedis for the weekly draws, then 1.2 million Ghana cedis for the grand draw inside. That be 1.2 million Ghana cedis. You for just reload airtime, then get points with it make you win. Make you dial *500# or go the Telecel Play app top. Then book inside riders give the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This promo will be NLA where they regulate them for the Caritas Lottery platform top.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me down my dark with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
No. You look
look so relaxed and cheerful these days. What's your secret?
No secret, Kofi. I just sorted out my retirement with Shield Pension Trust. You should talk to them.
Retirement? There's more time before pension.
Share. The earlier you start, the better. And Shield Pension Trust makes this so easy for you. They've got amazing plans to choose from. I even signed up for the Shield Cedi Crow a day personal pension scheme, which lets you save as little as 1 Ghana cedi a day towards your retirement. Isn't that great?
1 cedi a day.
Exactly. And the best part is, I sign up automatically on the Dachia Pomoden plan, which guarantees me medical insurance when I go on retirement.
Hey, you've convinced me. I need to sign up now.
Kofi is making a move to secure his future and health insurance when he goes on retirement. What about you? Go to Shield Pension Trust or call us now on 050-915-0253 and we'll guide you through securing your pension tomorrow. Shield Pension Trust, into the future with you.
This is really good. Missing that real taste of Ghana? Your favorite kitchen is calling. Living Room Restaurant, famous for mouth-watering authentic Ghanaian dishes, has a brand new home. We've moved. Find your favorite food now at our bigger, better spot on the Trinity Avenue, Baalishi, East Legon. It's the same incredible flavors, same warm Ghanaian hospitality, just a fresh new location, and now with live band on weekends. You can also book our lovely spaces for your private event at the same venue and enjoy the same great service. Visit us today at Trinity Avenue, Baalishi, East Legon. Living room, simply delicious.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Center Point Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
You're welcome back to Newsnight. Later on the program, street begging on the rise. Parliamentary committee raises alarm over human trafficking, insisting that many of them are victims of human trafficking.
Find ourselves that, look, most of those children you see, in our streets are actually victims of, child trafficking. Those issues came to the fore.
Tonight, government is in a high-stakes battle against time to evict illegal miners whose activities are dangerously encroaching on critical gas pipelines. The threat is particularly dire for the Angomaso pipeline, which supplies the newly commissioned 250 megawatts thermal plant in Kumasi. Energy company Gensa has identified 15 high-risk sites in the western and Ashanti regions where Galamsey operations are not only damaging communication cables but also jeopardizing pipeline integrity.
Well, the consequences of inaction could be catastrophic. A pipeline rupture could unleash a devastating explosion, decimating entire communities along its path. Moreover, the erratic power supply that plagued Kumasi in the past could return, crippling the city's economy and daily life. Clinton Yabua has more in the following report.
Gensa aids in gas supplies to critical thermal plants across the country, including the Kumasi 1 thermal power plant. This encroachment comes at a time when Ghana already struggles to meet its daily peak gas demand, a situation that could worsen into crippling nationwide power shortages if supplies are disrupted. Gensa warns that tempering or rupturing the lines could trigger catastrophic explosions, wiping out entire communities in their path. Vice President of Operations at Gensa Energy, Henry Abeku Opon, disclosed that the threats was uncovered by monitoring teams in Galamsey-prone corridors.
We've identified several prone areas. We have more than 50 communities we've identified as Galamsey-prone areas where the activities normally interrupt or cut our communication cables. We've actually identified all of these communities where we've intensified surveillance monitoring systems. There are a lot of areas in the western region. Galamseys are very active in the western region. Our pipeline, western region to Ashanti region, these areas are areas we are battling. Some of these operations are very harmful to the operations of the pipeline and can become real threat to the community.
The pressure in the pipelines is high. It's 100 bar. It's more sharper than even night, So it's actually a situation where I believe that no one can get, in those deliberate positions to harm the pipeline. We have a lot of community youth we've employed to monitor the safety of the pipelines.
And working assiduously to ensure the communities are well sensitized to understand that. So we work with the communities effectively to ensure that they accept that their operations these levels of operations could harm and become a threat to the safety of the communities.
Now, with the clock ticking, the government must act swiftly to protect the nation's infrastructure and prevent a disaster of epic proportions. The Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining warns the menace is spiraling out of control. Convener Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe is urging President Mahama to honor his pre-election pact with civil society groups by taking decisive action. He made a call in an interview with Elton Broby on The Pulse.
We are endangering ourselves with this gas pipeline. There are also very extra high voltage pylons that are also being digged under. And if any of those pylons should go down, the cost to life and property, and this is something DRA, Gridco have been preaching about. And now the situation is now being made worse with this issue of gas. And we know how flammable gas is going to be.
Right.
And all of these people who are doing all of this are criminals. These are environmental criminals, and so they should be treated as such, that these are people who are endangering their very lives and endangering the whole country. So the talk is enough of the talk. These are national security assets, and they should be treated as national security assets. And we should not allow criminals who, for their own selfish, reasons, would want to endanger all of us. So these are some of the things that we'll be hoping that His Excellency the President, in the coming days, as we await his new methods of fighting this particular scourge, would add that so that our gas pipelines, our high voltage lines, our roads, our water, our forest reserves, all of them will be treated with that robustness that is required.
That was Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, convener of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining.
Well, Pearl, the Lands Ministry says it has taken notice of the issue and has referred it to the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, which is now drawing up plans to tackle the encroachment and revising strategies to end illegal mining nationwide. Thankfully, we have the spokesperson for the ministry, Shandoff Irebi Aqua, joining us on the telephones with more. Thank you very much, Mr. Shandoff. I want to find out from you, what specifically does your ministry intend to do about this?
So, good evening. Like I indicated earlier when I engaged Elton in the afternoon, it's a development that has come to our attention and we treat it with utmost priority. Indeed, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat is also taking notice of it, and a comprehensive plan is being drawn to address it appropriately. When that plan is fully fledged, I'm sure we'll communicate the appropriate details.
Due to the magnitude of it, we understand that this could wipe out entire communities. Are we going to be given any timelines on when this plan you talk about is going to be drawn?
Well, it will be difficult to give any timelines now. However, it is on record that we treat it as an urgency, and for the fact that it's an urgent development, we should anticipate a very speedy resolution any moment from now.
While you draw up the plan, in the interim, are there any, immediate measures you are putting in place?
Of course, the most immediate measure that we are considering at the moment is for an active deployment by NIMOS to get to those targeted areas, the areas where the illegal miners are in the first place. When that deployment is done, of course, you can expect the issue to be significantly contained until we get to the stage where we implement the full raft of intervention that we are considering to address that particular issue.
We know now of the Ashanti and Western regions. Do you have any information that this could be happening elsewhere apart from these regions?
Absolutely not. Indeed, the information you have is the same detail we also have at our disposal. But of course, NIMOS also operates with a lot of intelligence, and so we are sure that having taken notice of this development, they will be on the lookout for other flashpoints where similar incidents are occurring. As and when they do, I'm sure the communication would be obvious to all.
And the issue of Galamsey, of course, it has never left the news. People are calling on, active measures to be taken. So far, what is the Lands Ministry up to in terms of the fight against illegal mining, aside from this one?
So prior to now, we have been working with the 5-pronged approach designed to mitigate the impact of illegal mining. And briefly, I want to run through it. So we've been embarking on land reclamation. We've also been deepening education and community awareness. We've also been embarking on a reformation of the whole licensing regime. Indeed, not long ago, on the 6th of August, the day the tragedy happened, we launched an alternative livelihood program, which is the RCOMSDEP, and then also we are enforcing the laws to the latter. These are the measures that we've been implementing over time. But now that it's apparent that we are at a crossroads and a very crucial point in the fight, all of these measures are being reviewed and upscaled. And again, when that is done, in the not too distant future, we'll communicate the new regime of interventions, if I have to put it that way, that would ensure that Galamsey conclusively becomes a thing of the past.
Shandov Airebi Aqua, thank you very much. He's the spokesperson for the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry.
Now, away from that, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTech, has refused to back down in its dispute with Deputy Health Minister Dr. Grace Ayensu-Dankwa over her use of the professor title.
Well, the controversy began when Dr. Ayensu-Dankwa mentioned during her vetting that she was a full professor from the University of Utah Department of Surgery. However, GTech's investigation revealed that she was actually an adjunct assistant professor, not a full professor.
Well, the Commission has maintained that Dr. Ayensu-Dankwa's use of the professor title is misleading and could be considered false pretense. Listen to excerpts of that vetting.
Clarify for me, when people address you doctor, people also address you professor. Share with us which of these titles match your rank.
Thank you. Both do. I am a professor of surgery at the University of Utah in the United States. Thank you.
There may be jurisdictional interpretations. Share with us the jurisdiction where you earn the title professor. How does it come by?
I have defended 2 theses. I have written so many publications, too numerous to count, and I have done a lot of research, too numerous to count. So if I may indulge you respectfully, where do you want me to start?
So just very simply, have you been conferred with that title, which is a postdoctoral title, professor? Do you have a document from a certified body confirming same to you? Is done in the Ghanaian jurisdiction or is different from where you're coming from, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The American system is completely different from the Ghana system. I am a professor of surgery. I have been teaching surgery for at least the last 15 years. Surgery is a skill. So we teach in the theater. We don't teach only in the classroom. As we're doing classroom work, we are also doing teaching in the theater. I am a full professor of surgery at the University of Utah and a professor of global surgery. Thank you.
Once you get in there, do you automatically carry the title or it has to be conferred in one way or the other by rank? That's the clarification I want you to provide, please.
I am a professor of surgery at the University of Utah. I am a professor of global surgery per the American College of Surgeons and the American Board of Surgery. I have worked in teaching for the last 15 years. Thank you.
So the American College of Surgery in its role has your name there as Professor Ayensu Dankwa, correct?
American College of Surgeons has my name as a Professor Ayensu Dankwa. I am a board-certified surgeon, doubly boarded from the United States of America. Thank you.
You had the Deputy Health Minister, Dr. Ayensu Dankwa, during her vetting, and you had her speaking to the minority leader.
Yes, and Joy News has been looking on the University of Utah's page for more information, Pearl. What have we found on that page?
Well, Kenneth, indeed, a simple Google search on the school's website lists her as a member of the faculty. It appears as Grace Ayensu Dankwa, MD, Doctor of Medicine, MPH, Master of Public Health, Languages Spoken English. Well, her academic information, Department, Adjunct Surgery. Let's bring you more on that. So that's what you find on that on the school's website, on Utah's website. But there is more, Kenneth.
Yes, there is indeed, because GTech, which has challenged her professorship title, seeks clarity. Here is Director General of GTech, Professor Ahmed Jinapo Abdullahi, who notes that their findings contradict her claim. According to them, the University of Utah wrote to GTech and indicated that she is an adjunct assistant professor. Listen.
The Honorable Deputy Minister of Health and MP, during her vetting, stated on national TV that she is a full professor from University of Utah Department of Surgery. That is a statement of fact. Her lawyers wrote to GTech and indicated that she is an assistant professor at Utah. The University of Utah wrote to GTech and indicated that she is an adjunct assistant professor. In fact, as we speak, she has not been able to provide us with a document that points to her appointment to whatever rank, whether a full professor, an assistant professor, or an adjunct professor. So these are the issues that needs to be interrogated. So as we speak, if we don't have any letter or any appointment document pointing to where she has been appointed to, be it a full professor, an adjunct professor, or an assistant professor, then the confusion continues. But for us as a commission, we are not interested in disgracing anybody. That is not our interest. As a matter of fact, when it comes to this issue, we gave the Honorable Minister the opportunity to meet the board chairman of GTech at a place of her convenience and a time of her choice. The board chairman met her, persuaded her to stay away from using that title informed by the narrative that she gave. She didn't heed to that. So today, if the lawyers of the Honorable Deputy Minister is giving GTech 2 weeks to retract, we don't know what they are asking us to retract. But I must say on authority, the issues pertaining to all these inconsistencies probably is emanating from the advice by her lawyers.
So you had the Director General of GTech, Professor Jinapo Abdullahi. Kenneth?
Meanwhile, Dr. Ayensu Dankwa's lawyers have clarified in a letter to GTech that she is an assistant professor at the University of Utah. Let's get excerpts of that letter, and Pearl, we'll chat this one once again. What is contained in that particular letter?
Well, according to the lawyers, GTech's letters were abrasive and disparaging. Their assessment lacked criteria for legal basis. They go on to say that letters copied to political officers were necessary, and found these suggestions of fraud damage her image. GTech also goes on to say that GTech wrongly limited the title to tenure track rules. Now, GTech overstepped its powers under Act 1023. International rules on academic recognition were disregarded, and no fair hearing or transparent procedure was provided.
So if the University of Utah refers to her as an adjunct assistant professor, did Dr. Ayensu perjure herself before Parliament's appointment committee? This is something that we look to explore, and then helping us to understand this question is a member of the appointments committee, Peter Yao Buama, there. Patrick Yabuama there, who is also the MP for Okaikwe Central. Thank you very much for your time on Newsnight this evening. So I want to find out briefly if the University of Utah refers to Dr. Ayensu as an adjunct assistant professor. Does that mean she misled your committee? Unfortunately, we do not have Patrick Yabuama on the line right now. But still on this, the former presidential candidate of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga, has also accused GTech of pursuing an agenda to destroy people's reputations. Now, speaking on Joy News' PM Express, Mr. Ayariga questioned the motives behind GTech's handling of its correspondence, with him insisting that contrary to GTech's claims, he had never been properly served with any official correspondence. Now, he's threatened to drag the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission to court for allegedly damaging his reputation.
In that letter, they said, in the light of your inability to provide the required document, you are hereby directed to immediately cease the use of the title doctor. And additionally, you must provide variable evidence that the title has been removed from all platforms, including but not limited to official social institution and all that. You see, clearly, this is the first letter you are writing to me. And you are writing a letter asking me to provide A, B, C, and D. In the same letter, you are telling me to stop using A, B, C, and D. What is the essence of that letter? And as we speak today, let me be very honest and clear to you. I have not received the letter from GTech till date. Till date, there's no evidence of they serving me a letter. I don't have a letter from GTech. Till date, as we speak. And if you want, put them on the phone to prove to you that they have given me a letter. So you see, there's some kind of an agenda to destroy people's reputation. And when you are destroying people's reputation, you have to be very careful, because it is very difficult to build a reputation. So you must ask questions like an institution, a proper institution. So you write to Hassan Ayariga, you write to Dr. Hassan, you are requesting for him to do ABC. You give him timelines. We are giving you from this day, because I'm not your worker. I have not come to your office and I've submitted a CV whereby you are in a rush, to verify my CV to see whether I am qualified to get that job or not.
Well, let's now hear from the Director General of GTech, Professor Ahmed Jinapo, who has issued an apology to Hassan Ayariga, but insists he must provide evidence to back his title.
Honorable Ayariga, I want to use this medium to apologize if we do not follow the right channel in dealing with this issue. And I want to state for the record that we do not want to simplify this issue to be Hassan Ayariga or any individual. It's not. And let me state for the record that for us as a commission, our interest is that we want people like Hassan Ayariga, who have done so well for this country, who have in a certain level of recognition by society, that they are being awarded an honorary degree to be recognized as such. That notwithstanding, if he has attained a PhD, going through the process of attaining a PhD, then he should be recognized as such. That is the bottom line. We want to make that distinction. So, Honorable, if for some reason we have offended you, I want to apologize to you. But I want to state for the record and emphatically that if you have not attained a PhD, or if you have attained faith and you haven't provided evidence, then it is not right that a person of your stature should more or less present yourself as somebody who has attained faith. So all we are saying is that communication in terms of writing is what? To alert you of a request. And you are very much aware of this request. Why are you not producing it? That's it.
You had the Director General of GTech, Professor Jinapo Abdullahi.
Right, we stay a while longer on this developing story, Pearl, because the Assemblies of God Church in Ghana has directed its clergy to stop attaching honorary doctorate titles to their names during official and public functions or risk suspension. Pearl, let's go through that directive briefly. What is the basis for this, actually?
Well, this directive followed a resolution passed by the Church's Executive Presbytery during its May 2024 meeting.
What exactly are they asking the ministers with end academic degrees to rather do?
Well, according to the directive, ministers with bachelor's, master's or PhD qualifications are advised to submit their certificates to the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, that's GTech, for authentication before they can receive formal recognition.
That's quite interesting. And does refusing to comply come with any sanctions?
Of course, yes, the church says that ministers who preach the directive or GTech's requirements will face disciplinary actions, including suspension from office.
Right, and it's now time for business, and George Wiafe is here with the latest. George?
Hi, Ken, and coming up in business, government releases 9.7 billion cedis as coupon payment for restructured domestic bonds, a move expected to impact on investor confidence, Ghana's credit ratings, and government fiscal credibility. And Bank of Ghana resumes dollar auctions after a brief break, but some banks still say the amount offered is not enough to meet their demand. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your offers, essentials, scented tags, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
Momo. It has made life happen in lots of good ways.
Mr. Kwanzaa, Mr. Insurance claim no.
It has put together beautiful weddings. It has filled the bellies of boys at their favorite watchy joint.
My guy, stop. Who they chop cancel these days?
It has made millions of businesses possible.
No. We are back in business.
With just a few taps, money moves faster, easier, and safer. Momo understands the weight of your trust in us. We continuously enhance security with features like self-paying research to help you protect your money. Momo will only call you with 0244 300,000. No MTN or Momo staff will call or ask for your PIN or one-time password. Do not transfer funds to anyone whose identity you have not verified. Do not approve any prompts you have not initiated. Momo, still Munsaka.
Ama, big news! Star Oil is now the largest oil marketing company in Ghana.
Wow, that's huge!
Yes, so the largest distributor of petroleum products in Ghana. Ever since I switched to Star Oil, my car runs smoother. The fuel lasts longer, no strange engine sound, just clean, powerful performance.
Oh, same here. I used to refill every 3 days until I switched to Star Oil. Now, my fuel lasts way longer. I don't know what magic is inside, but my car loves it.
Exactly. It's not magical. From Accra to Kumasi to Tamale, Star Oil day everywhere with 240 filling stations and counting. That's why more Ghanaians are choosing Star Oil.
Hey, my tank is almost empty. I am heading to Star Oil right now before the queue starts.
I'm right behind you, Ama.
We set out with a mission to serve better and lead boldly. We're proud to say we are Ghana's #1 oil marketing company. To our loyal Star savers across the country, thank you for believing in us. Star Oil, quality and affordable fuels for all.
Cavity protection.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, dear sir. And stay salt concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it this way. You have it now. New units now. No, be a baby. Someone some demoni in us say. Dear say. Fekwe yesim biara association wontare. Use Stay Soft ani hiane tena woche. Na ni bon so da form kra. E fabric soft na eye ne sensa. Choose Stay Soft. Ne hu so ye no. FDID edwadin krato yatu.
Sasso, c'est pour mettre ton frère. Sasso, c'est pour mettre ton frère. Et dans la famille, vous cherchez. Yeah, how can see any malaria? Minya me corn, me sasso spray. Every mosquito study run away. Come on, ton frère. Sasso, mi se come ton frère. Sasso, come ton frère. Nani sham ne die, demo strong.
This advert is FDA approved.
Let's go.
You're welcome back to Business on News Night. Now, government has released some 9.7 billion Ghana cedis as coupon payment for restructured domestic bonds. The Ministry of Finance this evening in a release confirmed the transaction. There is more in this report.
The Finance Ministry in a statement did confirm that the payment was made today. The ministry also revealed that this brings the total amount paid by government for the restructured domestic debt exchange bonds this year at 19.4 billion cedis. It also maintained that the payment again confirms the government's commitment to honoring the terms outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding signed under the debt exchange program, as well as aid investor confidence and government's fiscal credibility. The Finance Ministry argued that to ensure that future payment does not suffer, as announced in the media budget, two separate sinking funds have been established. That is a CD sinking fund and dollar sinking fund. These funds will provide liquidity buffers to aid timely payment of maturing papers and other payment obligations from next year to 2028.
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, a great consultant, Edward Karowe, says the cocoa farmers should exercise some restraint and engage government over their concerns about the new producer price. Now, this was after some farmers threatened to smuggle their beans to Ivory Coast over better price in the country. Mr. Karowe says farmers should also look at the broad package being offered to them by government.
Well, you can say that government could have done better, but what it also means is that other sectors will suffer. We should know that it is a value chain, and the world market price cannot be directly given to farmers alone because there are other costs along the value chain. You know, the cocoa that we produce from the farm gate also need to be cleaned up, processed before it can be exported. There are other costs and so on. So the question is whether government could have done better. There's always an opportunity for us to do better. And that is what I think that we should all be striving at. But you see, what the smuggling as an option is not a solution to getting things better. Because if at the end of the day, you smuggle out the cocoa and then government incurs costs by giving you fertilizers and other inputs, and then you smuggle it out, what will happen is that a time will come where there will not be production of cocoa, the farmers will lose, and everybody will lose.
A great consultant and former General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Karaway. Now, the Bank of Ghana has resumed its dollar auction for commercial banks after a brief break last week. And however, some of the commercial banks argue that the amount offered is not enough to meet their needs. Details in this report.
We are learning that the Bank of Ghana, through its 7-day forward auction program on Monday, sold some $97 million to the commercial banks. This was against the $100 million that was put forward by these institutions to support their operations. This auction program is an initiative used by the Bank of Ghana to assure that commercial banks will get the dollar at a particular time of need. For instance, one can talk about the 7 forward auction programs. The initiative was introduced to try and manage demand pressures coming from the commercial banks. However, some of the financial institutions that Joy Business has engaged maintain that what was supplied yesterday was still not enough to meet their demand. The Bank of Ghana, on the other hand, have insisted it has enough dollars to meet market demand. They also maintain the regulator is taking some prudent measures to manage the country's reserves. The central bank has assured the public that there's no need to panic. Others also believe the recent documentations put forward by the Bank of Ghana to aid withdrawals and auctions may be the major reason for this challenge.
And that is a Business Desk report. In a related development, economist Kojo Botti has described the current challenge of the city due to reviewing regulatory reforms put forward by the Bank of Ghana. The local currency has come under some pressure over the past week, resulting in it selling at around 10 Ghana cedis 8 pesos a dollar by some commercial banks. Mr. Botti says that the public need not panic because the Bank of Ghana has enough reserves.
And people compare us to the South Africans, your Kenyans, and other places where you go and you can't easily trade FX. You have to show documentation or some form of valid document before you can transact. Those are the kind of things we are trying to implement. It will cause short-term movement, but ultimately there will be stability. I'm trying to say that current movements in the market are a reflection of a number of interventions coming from the central bank itself. And of course, the normal market dynamics that are happening as a result of the sharp correction we have seen start of the year. And all of those will happen for the city to ultimately find its true value. My forecast for end of year has been that we're looking at around 12 CD 10 pesos per CD dollar exchange rate. And that will still have been a reasonable end of year figure, given where we started from, really. So I don't think there is so much to panic about. I think it's a lot of normal market movement. And if you see the spreads, the margins at which they are moving up or down, they are unpredictable with this.
Economist Kojo Botti. Now, Fidelity Bank is stepping up its sustainability drive by promoting the use of clean transport in the country. Sustainability Finance Projects or Products Manager at Fidelity Bank Ghana, Donatus Kozo, told Joy Business the initiative is part of their efforts to promote carbon emissions, actually reducing carbon emissions in the country.
Fidelity Bank is committed to promoting sustainability in Ghana, supporting our customers in their clean transition journey and their sustainability journey generally. As part of that agenda, we dedicate a month in the year where we showcase our sustainability programs, products, and initiatives. So the whole of month of August is dedicated for sustainability. And one of the things that we are doing is to promote clean transportation as part of our electric vehicle financing scheme, where we support our customers and our staff members to acquire electric vehicles because of the benefits that are the sustainability benefits that are associated with the usage of electric vehicles.
That is the Sustainable Finance Products Manager at Fidelity Bank Ghana, Donatus Kuzami. That is talking about the bank's commitment to reducing carbon emissions whilst creating awareness about green transport in the country. And that's all for business. Let's do sports.
Yeah, and the countdown is on for the 2025 Joy Sports Invitational Tournament scheduled for Saturday, 23rd of August. 48 organizations will gather at the University of Ghana Stadium in just 4 days to compete in a variety of disciplines, including football, table tennis, volleyball, arm wrestling, and e-games. This year's event is sponsored by Royal Sweets Limited, Ayuda Hub, The Game Energy Drink, Yomi Yogurt, and The Luckiest. Now, the African Junior and Youth Weightlifting Competition entered day 2 earlier today. The number of Ghanaian athletes, including Eric Malibe and Emmanuel Amoboating, in action. Secretary General of Ghana Weightlifting, Kenneth Adade, summarized what transpired.
It's been an exciting 2-day competition. We started on Sunday with the opening ceremony, very colorful one, and then yesterday we officially started the competition. We are in day 2 now, and it's been amazing. The young lads are really exhibiting their skills and talents, and then we are hoping to have future champions. You know, these athletes are new to the sport, and some of them are even having their first international competition. So this is a platform for them to sell themselves to the continent and then dream big about making their professional sports in weightlifting.
Kenneth Adade is the Secretary General of Ghana Weightlifting. Bring that into sports. Back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Daniel, for bringing us the latest in sports. Let's do some health now, because Health Minister Kwabena Mintah-Kando has condemned the assault on health workers at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital by social media influencer Rav Afol Williams. While acknowledging the importance of feedback on service delivery, Minister Kando emphasized that violence against health workers will not be tolerated. A committee has been established to investigate the incident, and the minister assured that measures are being taken to enhance hospital security. Additionally, the ministry is engaging with the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association to address their concerns and work towards a resolution.
One of the things that came to fore was how we can quickly beef up the security at the hospital. Right. So once we were looking at beefing up the local or the internal security, we also got in touch with the Ghana Police to be able to help us once and then. And quite apart from that, and one of the main reasons why I can tell you I'm personally involved in communicating this matter under normal circumstances, maybe the communication aspect of the ministry would have taken to handle it. But I feel so committed and so passionate about this because I do not want us to set any bad precedents as a country, where you go to a health facility and in your own wisdom you think that something is going on wrong and you take the law into your own hands and decide to physically attack health professionals. That shouldn't be tolerated. Of course. That cannot be countenanced. And I condemn it in no uncertain terms. And I'm very, 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 I take strong exception to this particular matter. So there are 2 legs to this matter. After yesterday, after the visit, we have already commissioned an investigation into the matter. A 5-member committee has been constituted, a lawyer, an auditor, HR person, a medical doctor, and a nurse. 5-member committee has been constituted to look into the matter so that we can implement the recommendations. That is the health or the ministry's angle. And then there's the criminal aspect that the police is also looking into the matter so that the law will take its own course. So these are the 2 angles.
The video we saw, the viral video, I mean, the gentleman who recorded the video pointed to lack of urgency on the part of the nurses to attend to the man who required emergency care. And what is your reaction to that?
That is exactly what we are investigating. So I've listened to both sides. Yesterday, at the time I was visiting the hospital, I had not had the opportunity to listen to Ralph's and co, their side. So after visiting the facility, I had the opportunity to also listen to their side. And now we have commissioned a committee to look fully into the matter. So that will unravel all these things. Whether or not indeed there was a delay on the part of the health workers to attend to the accident victim, the investigation will unravel all these matters and then we'll deal with it appropriately.
So that right there is the Minister of Health, Kwabena Mintah-Kando, there in a conversation with my colleague Elton Broby, explaining the modalities that they have put in place and the action that they've taken since that unfortunate incident took place. And of course, he says that there will be for security at the various hospitals in the country. Let's bring you more stories tonight, Pearl, because the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament is expressing deep concern over the resurgence of street beggars in Accra, citing evidence of active human trafficking networks exploiting vulnerable individuals.
Now, despite a recent crackdown by the Ghana Immigration Service, which removed undocumented migrants from the streets and deported many to their home countries, the problem has re-emerged. Rodalyn Abense's report. Read to
From
you.
Obechebi Lamte through La Paz and 37 Station, adults and young children can be seen back on Accra's streets, pavements and under bridges. These Nigerians were sent to their country, but they are back, posing a great inconvenience to both pedestrians and drivers alike.
These Nigerians were deported to their home countries, but they are back in Ghana. It's common to see children as young as 1, 2, or 3 years crossing the road indiscriminately, resulting in accidents.
Some beggars dodged during the swoop, hence were not deported by the immigration officials.
The government deported them, but they have found their way back in. Officials stationed at various borders must stop taking bribes from them at entry points.
This issue is a very sad one. Some of the beggars dodged the swoop carried out by the immigration officers, so they were not deported. The problem is they make here very dirty.
Whether as a nuisance, how effective are deportations, and for how long will Accra streets be home to them? For Joy News, Rodalyn Na Oboshi Abense's report, read to you.
Well, meanwhile, Chair of Parliament's Interior and Defence Committee, James Algaga, has highlighted that the return of beggars to the streets is a clear indication that trafficking networks remain operational and continue to prey on vulnerable individuals.
Well, the committee is calling for urgent action to address the issue, emphasizing the need for a comprehensive approach to tackle human trafficking and protect its victims.
Can they be described as refugees? So we satisfied ourselves that, look, most of those children you see, in our streets are actually victims of, child trafficking. Those issues came to the fore. They are trafficked from various countries brought into this country to beg, and at the end of the day, those who brought them in become beneficiary to, the criminal act of child trafficking. So, we insisted that, okay, if you have to repatriate them, you must liaise with the UNHCR, the Ghana Refugee Board, to ensure that those who meet the criteria and can be treated as refugees are treated as such, whilst those who are victims of child trafficking are rescued and maybe reunited with their families abroad. So the process must continue to ensure that the children whose rights are abused, because if you engage in child trafficking and pour them onto the streets, it's a major violation of their fundamental human rights.
Okay.
It's criminal conduct, and those who are behind that practice ought to be arrested and prosecuted.
And beyond the streets of Accra, human trafficking remains a much bigger problem across the Sahel, with Niger standing out in the latest U.S. Department of State report. Joy News research has been studying this report. A member of the team, Jason Day, joins me in studio with details. Jason, what does the report tell us about the impact of human trafficking in Niger?
Well, yes, Ken, we've been digging deep into the report, and that's the U.S. Department of State report for 2024. And the report has made it very clear that this is a persistent and far-reaching issue. It goes on to say that it has been reported that over the past 5 years, human traffickers have continued to exploit both domestic and foreign victims in Niger. And also says that the traffickers go on to also exploit victims from Niger abroad. What we can see is that this means that Niger is both a source and a destination, with people exploited within the country, across the Sahel, and possibly even internationally. Ken.
Jason, that's quite an interesting revelation. But which groups are most affected by this exploitation?
To be direct, the most vulnerable group affected is children. The report has highlighted that some traffickers exploit boys as young as 6 years old and enforce them into labor, begging within Niger and in neighboring countries. Even it goes on to say that at times the parents of these 6-year-old boys facilitate the trafficking. It also says that some Quranic teachers set daily begging quotas enforced by beatings on these families and children. And it also say that observers around have reported that the students lack access to adequate food and shelter. So what we can see is that this tends to show that anytime you see Nigerian children or the families begging on the streets, there are two possible realities that these children are going through. That is that, for one, some may have been handed over by desperate parents under economic pressures to these traffickers. And then the second one is that others are, together with their families, the children and the families are under the control of traffickers, forced to beg under violence and deprivation. So to say that, but what we can say also is that either way, these children and possibly their entire families are already trapped in a cycle of systemic exploitation.
Quite some interesting revelation, Jason Day. Thank you very much for that update, Pearl.
Well, tonight, Cecilia Abnadapa is momentarily off the hook with the Office of the Special Prosecutor as a collaboration with the FBI found no direct and immediate evidence of corruption in respect of seized funds and frozen bank accounts linked to the former Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources and his associates. But strong indications of suspected money laundering remain, and the case is now back with the Economic and Organized Crime Office, that's EOCO. My colleague Caleb Ziblim joins me in the studio with details of the half-year report. So Caleb, first, tell us about what the collaboration with the FBI actually turned out.
Pearl. So after nearly 7 months of extensive investigation by the OSP and the FBI in the United States, no direct and immediate evidence of corruption was found in respect to seized funds and frozen bank accounts linked to Cecilia Dapa and her associates. Then the investigation also established that there were strong indications of suspected money laundering and structuring which go beyond the OSP's mandate.
So does this mean that Cecilia Dapa is finally off the hook?
Not exactly. So the OSP itself stressed that while the FBI did not find any direct and immediate evidence of corruption, this does not mean that issues won't emerge in the future. And in fact, the docket has now been transferred to EOCO for a review. And under the previous administration, EOCO declined to investigate, but then this current administration has decided that they will look at the dockets again from the OSP and investigate the matter.
Caleb, so the report also gives updates on former Finance Minister Kenneth Ofori. Let's start with the detailed investigations against Kenneth Ofori. What exactly has been revealed in this report?
So the report lays out the number of charges against Mr. Ofori, and this involves the procurement of the SML contracts between GRA, influencing the procurement process to obtain unfair advantage and contracts relating to the National Cathedral project, a contract between ECG and BXC, unlawfully approving payments out of the tax refund account, and unlawfully approving payments in respect to the contracts awarded by the Health Ministry, the Ministry of Health, and the Ghana Service, and the Service Ghana Auto Limited. So we have 5 of them here.
Caleb Ziblim, thank you very much for those details. Kenneth?
That's how we wrap up News Night tonight. We came to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle. My name is Kenneth Gyasi. Thank you very much for listening.
My name is Ofori.
But right after this, we have Geek Squad with Adobia. And Adobia is already in the studio with her guest. Adobia, what are we discussing tonight?
A lot of people have laptops some of them are employees, and they basically use it for emails and mainly office stuff. But tonight we want to talk about how best they can make good use of their laptops, optimizing it, working smarter, and also staying secure.
We'll be listening.